Welcome, and thanks very much for joining us for our continuing Conga Alliance Partner Showcase webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to introduce our customers to the consulting partners that we work with on a regular basis, our go-to partners, and give you the opportunity to get to know more about their practice and their services they offer above and beyond just their Conga implementation experience. Today we're very happy to showcase both Silverline and Halak Consulting. Each presenter will talk for approximately 15 minutes each, and then we'll have 15 minutes at the end to answer any questions. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted to our website should you care to review it or share it with any of your colleagues. So, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Kai Xiong with Silverline.
Thank you, Chris. So let's go ahead and go to the first slide. I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Silverline, and in that capacity I oversee all of our marketing, business development, and our alliance efforts. So I own the alliance relationship with Conga. And I've prepared a set of slides for the audience today, so I'd just like to take everybody through it and look forward to any questions at the end. So let's go to skip this one. Let's go to the first slide. So just to give everybody a high-level overview of who Silverline is, we started as a Salesforce partner in 2009. We are now a Gold Cloud Alliance partner with customers, quite frankly, all over the country. We're based in New York City, and as of now, we've got 75+ certified Salesforce professionals with a total employee count of about 120. Where we have done a lot of work and success has been around a couple of industries. So the majority of our work is being done in financial services and in healthcare. And what we really have done over the years is, as we've done implementations over time, we've taken those assets and really been able to extend them to future customers that come and leverage our services. We currently have done close to 800 implementations since that time, and that number continues to grow. Chris, can you please go to the next slide? Great. In addition to being a Salesforce consulting partner, we are also, just like Conga, an ISV partner. So our flagship product is an application called Calendar Anything, which some of you may have heard of. We are currently supporting over 75,000 users. That 500 companies is slightly dated. I think we're getting close to about 800 now today. We also have a couple of other applications. One is a water cooler application, which is a off-the-shelf social intranet application that we released earlier this year. We haven't had as much success with water cooler as we have had with Calendar Anything. We are starting to see a lot of traction as Salesforce goes to market around the communities cloud, and particularly as they start to push their employees communities product, we're certainly starting to see more customers express interest in our water cooler application. And lastly, we have an application called Visual Relationship Mapping. This is actually the oldest application that Silverline created. We've made this probably even before we were Silverline. And this is just a nifty tool that allows you to visually see the relationship that you've created inside of Salesforce, whether you're related to another entity, another account, another contact, and gives you that sort of 360 view of who all your relationships are and to what degree they are. So let's skip to the next slide, because I think this is where we get into the meat of my presentation. I think what's really important before we get into the success stories is we've been a Conga partner for as long as I can remember. We're now using Conga Composer version 8, and I certainly know that we've probably been on every version of Conga. At this point, the majority of the documents that are generated inside of our Salesforce application is through Conga. The primary usage is obviously our customer-facing documentation. So every statement of work that we send to our clients, every change order that we send to our clients, any sort of NDA, master services agreement, all that is done through a combination of Conga and EchoSign. But really, it started back in the, when we really started to grow as a professional services firm. It got very tedious to continue to, export the Word documentation, fill that out, and then, either scan it or constantly making updates to it. Now, all of that is done inside of Salesforce, and with a press of a button, the document is generated. Over the years, as our usage of Conga has advanced, as we started to see some of the use cases from the customers that we've implemented, we're actually starting to do some more advanced reporting. So one of the things that the customers that we have on the projects that we run, they ask us for status reports. And currently, the status of a project within our Salesforce org is located, in many places, multiple custom objects, multiple reports. And so instead of, sending multiple reports to a customer, one of the things that we started to do was leveraging Conga and pull all these reports and merge it into one place. Since we started doing that, obviously, a certain element of customer success has risen, because now customers are able to see the whole 360 perspective on how their project is moving, from timelines, from the amount of spend, are there overages, where are the areas where we see deficiencies, what part of the project are we currently on. All that is being done through Conga, and it's certainly been very helpful to our project teams as well, because if we have a new project team member show up to the project midstream, they can take a look at these Conga reports and immediately be able to see, well, what's been going on in the project and where we are. So this has been both helpful from an external customer-facing perspective, as well as an internal operations and project management perspective. One of the interesting things that we actually started to do now is, as we've gotten bigger and as we're starting to work with more enterprise level customers, we're constantly being asked for our project resumes, so that if a prospect is asking, you're assigning XYZ consultants to my project, well, what projects has this person worked on? In the past, it was a tedious effort of interviewing that project manager, asking him or her, was this a Service Cloud project that you did? How many integrations was in there? Were there any, ISV applications like a Conga or like a Demand Tools? And it was a lot of work, and quite frankly, it was something that we really couldn't reuse, because we have to update it every time. So, again, based on some of the things that we've done for our customers, we just said, what, it would be amazing if, we could just do this on the fly with the most recent data available. And certainly this took some work on just the Salesforce, configuration side to create some of these objects so this sucker can be stored. But now, again, with a press of a button, depending on what employee or what consultant is being assigned to a project, the project resume flows easily. So, we're certainly looking for additional ways that we can use Conga within Silverline, but just looking at how we currently use it today, in both customer-facing situations as well as internal management and logistics and operations situations, we're fully leveraging Conga to streamline our overall processes, and that's really a testament to how the multi-usage capability that Conga brings for any customer or prospect that is either using it or considering to use it. Chris, I think that's all I have for the Silverline sort of version. Let me just sort of take everybody through some of the client scenarios that we've leveraged over the years. I didn't get permission to use the clients' names in these three settings, so I'm just going to sort of let everybody know that all three of these are very well-known financial services companies across the country. The first example is one where we certainly have a legion of custom of Salesforce developers on our staff, and I would love more than anything to be able to sell as much development hours as I can as the Chief Revenue Officer. But what we really try to do for our clients is to give them the solution that makes sense, that minimizes the overall cost. So one of the things that we leverage Conga for with our clients is to minimize the custom development cost. If we don't have to do visual force reporting, then we won't. If based on the usage that we've had with Conga over time, we can say, well, Conga at this particular cost, even though it's recurring, it's still a lot less than having to, pay Silverline for 300 hours of custom development, testing, and rollout. So this is one of the areas. So in this particular customer, and several customers are like this, instead of using visual force reporting, we leverage Conga, and the Conga team was very helpful in setting up templates as they do across the board. Some of the other scenarios that I want to mention, really it's just having our clients have quicker access to their data. So what we've done in a lot of cases is we've created these Conga report links, but the customers want to see, there's more than one Conga report that's useful. So what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of custom development. This is sort of hybrid, and we'll create a Visual Force tab that then contains all the Conga report links. So then, you can basically, using that tab, you can easily control who can access and run the reports by just providing access to that tab. So again, this is having a more efficient way for our customers to access their data. One of the big things that our customers, particularly in financial services, use is, most of our financial services clients have a weekly meeting where they go through the deals that they're working on. So in a lot of our clients, and particularly this one, we created a weekly scheduled Conga email that sent out to a list of employees that the report was populated based on the deals that were associated with that particular employee. That way, when the deal meetings were taking place, the users know which of their deals that are going to be discussed, so they come prepared to the meeting. And all this is scheduled, using Conga. And this particular use case has been repeated several times because, like I mentioned, everybody has meetings. Everybody wants to come to the meetings prepared. Not only that, you want to come to the meetings prepared with the most recent information, which is why a combination of using the Conga email template as well as using Conga Conductor has really improved. This is a fairly simple solution, but in reality, some of our financial services clients used to spend all day Thursday, all day Friday, preparing reports for the meetings that are going to have the subsequent week. Now with Conga, none of that takes place anymore. The data is in Salesforce because that's being regularly updated so that when the meeting comes on Monday, the reports are in their inboxes and everybody has access to it. So again, improving meeting efficiency, improving meeting dialogue, saving time. This is one of the best benefits that Conga has brought to bear for our customers. Chris, if you can go to the last slide that I have, and I'll be right at the 15-minute mark. Why do we work so much with Conga? I think this is something that I want to stress. I mean, we work with several ISV partners in the ecosystem. I would say anywhere between 20 to 30 partners on a regular basis. I consider Conga to be the one that provides the best customer service out of any of the ISV partners that I have. They provide phenomenal support from the pre-sale stage of the game all the way through implementation. So if you're a prospect looking for document creation, they'll get on the phone and they'll actually help us convey, well, why is Conga a much better solution? And throughout the process, they'll help create templates. It's just, whenever, I feel secure that if I have to bring Conga in, that I'm not going to have any issues with them, focused on helping my customer. I think in a lot of ways, this is a testament to their leadership team, because their leadership team has always, and certainly my communications have been with Mark Weisside as COO, they're very focused on customer support, almost to the point where that's more important than the revenue that they generate from their licenses. They want to make sure in every single instance they understand what the customer wants, how that requirement is then translated into what Conga can do for them, and then they work with both the system integrator like Silverline and the customer to make sure that that solution is deployed effectively. I can't ask for a better partner in that regard, because that's one less thing that my project teams have to worry about throughout the implementation. So Chris, I'm a minute behind, but that's what I have for sort of how we use Conga, how we use Conga with our clients, and why we've chosen Conga as our partner.
Kai, that's terrific. Thank you so very much It was great to learn more about Silverline, especially your products, but I really like the success stories, not only how internally at Silverline you've kind of evolved that use of Conga Composer along with EchoSide and Conga Conductor for your internal documents, but also that project resume piece of your business, the status reports, and really liked the examples of those customer solutions, especially around something that you think would be very, very easy and mundane and not too time-consuming, but those weekly reports. When you start multiplying that out over the course of, you know, a month or a quarter or a year, that time savings is really great. So thank you so much, and again, we appreciate that relationship as well. So thanks so much. It's now my pleasure to introduce Deepa Patel from Halak Consulting, and Deepa's going to run through her presentation about Halak, her offerings, and also Conga as well. So without further ado, Deepa, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Hi, I'm Deepa Patel with Halak Consulting, and today we're going to talk about how can you effectively coach your sales staff with better visibility using graphics in Salesforce. Chris, can we go to the introduction slide, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about our partnership in that as well. So a little bit about us. We are a small we're a small consulting firm, Salesforce partner. I'm also a Salesforce MVP, and we support small to medium-sized businesses. We do work with private equity firms in the financial industry, and a lot of our other clients are in the software industry. We work with a lot of technology companies. Our primary focus is business process reengineering. We do a lot of architecture work for Salesforce along with configuration and implementation. And we also do training for Salesforce. Chris, I have transitions built into this. Okay, we've been in business for over 11 years now, and with a combined experience in technology for 20 years. We've served over 200 customers, and I also speak at Dreamforce and run the East Bay user group. I also run the Salesforce certification study group on the success community, and for those of you who are familiar with that group, what we do is we provide a free service to the Salesforce community members to prepare for their certification exams. And Kai mentioned, having calendar anything from Silverline, and we are so privileged to have that product as one of our products that we use to support our session leader scheduling. So thank you so much, Kai, for giving us those licenses that we can work with. We're also extremely grateful to Conga. Conga has been a fantastic customer or partner to help us with our customer implementations. We've done quite a few projects where we've streamlined the entire lease generation process for a company that does rentals for their apartments and commercial buildings. We also did a very, very complex report for a financial services company or private equity firm where they needed their reports split out by each country, and within that country they needed separate information by divisions and product lines, and it was something that we just could not do in Salesforce, and so we used Conga to build those reports and Conga Conductor to distribute those via email, and all the partners at the firm get those reports via email in an Excel spreadsheet. So one of the things that I have to say that we're extremely grateful for the support that Conga provides. I have personally worked with Mark Whiteside to come up with some templates and solutions. I mean, it's just impressive when the CEO of a company picks up the phone and answers service calls. So we're so grateful to you for helping us. Can we go to the next slide, Chris? I am going to talk about something a little bit different today. Instead of focusing just on Conga, I'm going to focus about a business problem that we see all the time. And one of the business problems that I find when I'm speaking with a lot of VP of sales and with VP of marketing is, a lot of the information is stored in different Excel spreadsheets. And, I asked them, I said, how do you manage your forecast? It's like, oh, we have Excel spreadsheets. Chris, can you go through the transition, please? Sales reps have their information always in spreadsheets, and I asked them, well, how do you consolidate all of this? And always the answer is, oh, we spend about 2-3 hours, a day or a week trying to consolidate all this information. And one of the biggest problem that I hear from, the VPs that I'm speaking with is, I have no idea what my reps are doing. I have to constantly call them every day and ask them, what have they done? Where are they in a sales cycle? How many calls have they made? Or, have they reached out to the decision makers? All those kind of questions, it's just hard for the VPs to understand what's going on with their deals and where they are in the sales cycle. And so what this leads to, Chris, next slide, please. And this leads to pretty much lack of visibility. It's like there's no proper visibility of what's happening with your deals and your sales cycle across the board. And the higher you go up with the number of people that work for you, the worse the problem gets. And in the process of consolidation and trying to bring data from multiple Excel files, you pretty much get inconsistencies. I'm sure a lot of you have been in meetings where, one person has one spreadsheet and they put it up and their numbers don't match with the other person who's displaying their spreadsheet. And it's like, well, how did that happen? Which leads to a ton of frustrations and lack of productivity. So one of the things that we do as consultants with our clients, Chris, next slide, please, is we design what we call scorecards, which makes it really easy for the VPs to manage their pipeline and also for the reps to work with in the system. So it's a combination of what we call scorecards, and then it's a combination of what we call milestones. We use the concept of milestones to help the VPs and their sales reps be more productive. And the concept of the milestones is where you're not literally micromanaging everybody and trying to get an idea, did you make this phone calls? How many phone calls did you make? Did you send out an email? When you try to micromanage, your productivity goes down the drain very quickly. And one of the things that happens with the culture within the sales team is that, oh my God, my boss is breathing down my neck every day, and I hate Salesforce, and I don't want to enter anything in Salesforce because my boss is going to know what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. And to kind of shy away from that mindset of being afraid of your own boss, that, boss is going to keep yelling at you, we use a combination of milestones and graphic scorecards to manage your pipeline. And with graphics, if you, Chris, there's a transition in here. With the graphics, what ends up happening is when you take a look at just your simple list view when you go into your opportunity tab, just by scanning very quickly at the list view, you can see that, I have a deal that's still stuck in a prospecting stage, and with the on-target notifications, you can know that this deal is gone out of whack. It's not on target. And as you can see, the second deal that I'm showing here in our graphic here is where, the pencil icon means that this is where we're in contract negotiations, and this deal is hasn't even closed when it was supposed to close, and this needs attention. And if you look at the very last one that I've highlighted, that we've put a proposal to this customer, and it has gone nowhere. And once again, this deal was supposed to close in September, and it hasn't closed. So what this does is, instead of really putting a sales rep on the edge, this kind of just gives you an idea on, what has not happened, what is on track, good, those deals are on track. I don't have to worry about that. Let me just worry about what's not on track. And when we talk about milestones, what do we talk about? Next slide, please, Chris. What I want to talk about here is when we design milestones, basically milestones is a combination of certain number of steps that have to happen in order to move the deal to the next stage. And what we've designed here is that if the numbers are negative, that means that's good. The task is happening sooner than the due date, or the milestone is happening sooner than the due date, versus the milestones that are going beyond the allocate number of days that a milestone has to be completed in. You can see that into every deal. When you go into the deal, it's a chart that we put on the opportunity page layout, but you can also get it for all higher level deals, and I'm going to show you that graphic here in the next slide. But what this gives you a representation of is, does my rep need coaching here? Like, is there something that I need to help this person with? Why did it take 13 days to go through the prospecting cycle, and why is this deal stuck in negotiation stage for 33 days? And then the record count is the number of steps that needed to be completed for the milestones to move to the next stage. So what this is doing is this is taking away that component of micromanaging and being able to get a very good idea on what's going on with your deals. And this kind of, the next slide, Chris, next slide, please. And we have a transition here as well. Great, thank you. So, thank you. So what this does is, this is a report that we've built, which is if you can see here, like we've got a number of opportunities, number of deals here. And you can see in an overall, the amount of time that it's taking to go through the different steps or milestones that has to go through. And so when you look at that in a prospecting phase, it's on an average, it's taking 13 days for this rep over the limit that we've allowed. Let's say we said that, you know what, you have to be in a prospecting cycle. We're going to give you about 60 days to go through the prospecting stage, but beyond that, we've got a problem. And you can see on an average, this rep has gone 13 days beyond the 60-day allocated time that we've given. And so what this does is gives the manager an idea on, do you have a high-performing sales rep, or do you have a rep that's going to need some kind of coaching somewhere? Is it something that the rep needs coaching on? Is it something with the leads that we've converted to opportunities and given to the rep? Is there something that was not qualified well enough before the lead was handed over to the salesperson? This kind of allows you to ask those kind of questions because you can see where are they falling short. And so in conclusion, what we focus on is macro management and not micromanagement, and making it very easy with a combination of graphics and charts and reports within Salesforce that allows you to do that. Now, as I said, you're always going to be a chance to need Conga, because some of the stuff you just cannot do without Conga. And one of those examples is the report that I talked about that we needed to do for our private equity firm, where they needed reports segregated by country and divisions, and so we use Conga for that. But there's also some really good functionality that we can build into Salesforce that can help you increase your productivity and boost the morale with your salespeople and help them be a lot more productive. With that, I want to say thank you. And Chris, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Deepa, thank you so much. It was great to hear not solely a focused Conga presentation, but really talking about what Halak can do from a business process standpoint, all the configuration, implementation, training pieces, those couple Conga examples of the streamlining that generation, lease generation but the complex reporting solution is terrific. So thank you for that. But really enjoyed that notion of how to manage a forecast, how to manage that pipeline, the sales cycle, the rep management, and all the inconsistent, poor visibility and poor productivity. But really liked how that scorecard and milestone visual solution was a great solution for that. So wonderful. With that, I certainly would encourage everyone to please do connect with Silverline and Halak. They are phenomenal Conga partners. They say we've been, like I said, very great partners with them and have appreciated their support, and we would encourage you to reach out to them not only from a Conga need perspective, but certainly for all of your Salesforce implementation, business process, third-party apps. It's a great resource to have for your entire business that you're running on Salesforce. So here's our contact information. Kai's and Deepa's is here as well. So I will certainly, this will be posted on the website and be available for you and your colleagues. So please do contact Silverline and Halak. They're phenomenal, and you'll certainly benefit from their expertise, their implementations, and their knowledge. For those of you who are looking for resources to kind of get started on your own way, I'm going to put this in here as well. All of our Conga-specific documentation, information on Conga University, our quick starts, our recorded video webinars are all going to be at congasphere.com. Videos on our YouTube channel, and as always, you can reach out to our business analyst team anytime here in the Americas, also worldwide in EMEA and APAC also. So thanks everyone. Special thanks to Kai and Deepa. Remember, this webinar will be posted shortly to our website should you want to share with that. But with that, I'll say thank you and have a great day.